Jeez. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Flipping Out stream on Wednesday. So it's Wednesday night. We are here to do another chatting stream. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done a chatting stream. We've been really fortunate. Zach has actually swapped a bunch of games in and out recently. So I know my brother and I had a great chance to play really some fun stuff. Team of Sil coming in strong. 7 months, man. Appreciate you, man, for being part of this. We are doing well, but tonight is going to be a chatting stream. Tonight's going to be a chatting stream. I wasn't actually supposed to have a stream tonight. I was actually supposed to be in Europe still for a team meeting, but the meeting got canceled. So my 2-week European trip became a 1-week European trip, and I am grateful. I'm grateful to be here, and grateful to chat it up tonight. Yeah, Ray Day, I wasn't at Papa. I was in Europe. And but Papa would have been awesome. It was right there in Chicago. I'm bummed I wasn't there, but I did miss everybody last week. I absolutely did. Normally people are used to this spot behind me being a game I'm borrowing, and as you can see, I got TNA. So it's a beautiful game. That's my game, but I'm currently do not have a game yet to borrow from Zach. So Zach picked up Houdini, which we did have a lot of fun with, I don't have anything. I don't have anything right now. So he's hoping that Avatar or even possibly X-Men LE will be available before Wednesday. So there's a chance that we'll be streaming one of those two games by Wednesday. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what we'll be streaming. So that's for next week. When are we streaming Blues Brothers? Yeah, Sterling, that's a great question. I don't know. I got to start working on the code, right? Because it's open source, so I just got to code my own game. It'll be great. But no, tonight we're going to do a chatting stream. It has been a while. But we've got plenty to talk about. Specifically, probably spend the first half talking about X-Men and probably spend the second half talking about Avatar. But obviously, chat, everybody that's here tonight, if there's anything particular you guys want us to chat about, let us know. But before I keep rambling, let's go ahead and introduce the other three gentlemen that are here tonight. We'll go around the circle. We'll do our normal thing. Who are you? What do you do? And what was the last game of pinball you played? So, Craig, take it away.
What up, Joel? What up, chat? Great to be here. Yes, it has been a long time. Craig Bobby, I do the Top Stories news segment on the Flippin' Out podcast, which you can hear every other week on the TPN network. Hey, the last game I played, believe it or not, even though it's been a busy summer, didn't play a lot of pinball, but is the classic JJP music pin Guns N' Roses when I was in downtown Toronto a few weeks ago, and I saw this game on location at Tilt Arcade in downtown Toronto, and I thought, okay, they've got this here. It was actually the standard edition back when JJP, as you all remember, was doing sort of standard edition machines. So not the 2 playfield one, single level playfield. But I thought, you know what? I've got some time here, so I'm really going to try and get into this and get going on it. Boy, did I struggle to understand what the hell was happening. Joel, I kept thinking,
Craig, I taught you. Yeah, I taught you how to play.
I know.
7 band members, Craig. 7 band members. Got to collect them all.
Yeah.
And then you just rock out.
I know.
Yep.
And toward the end of the game, I started to remember and get back in and get a song going and stuff. But it did remind me when I compared it against more recent rock pins that Stern's done, or even the latest one from JJP, Elton John. You wait so long to just even get into a GNR song, which is all you want to do when you step up to the machine. You're like, okay, I'm going to listen to some GNR. And then like 1 ball goes by and there's nothing. 2 balls go by and nothing. And you're like, I just want to hear a GNR song. Yeah. Anyway, great light show. It was still a lot of fun. The rule set was a bit, again, for a novice player or someone like myself who wasn't as familiar with the code. It was tough to get into.
Yeah.
But I still had fun on it, and it still looks like a great machine. Like the assets they put into it and everything, are still fantastic on that game, and I do think it does still hold up years later. I do think that's Eric Minier's best game to date so far, in his debut. But we'll see, what he's got up his sleeve. Eric's a great guy. Love him as a designer, super passionate. He puts a lot of heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
His debut was Pirates, but yes, it is a great game.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I actually think
His second.
I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun on GNR, but I've always explained GNR as you have a build phase and then you have the song phase. And 100% the song phase is so much more fun than the build phase. And if you really get into the nitty-gritty of the rules, you actually want to spend a lot of time in the build phase because it makes the song phase more fun. But Mike, you had it, right? Didn't you own?
I did have it, and I wasn't the biggest fan of the code. But again, I had it from day one, early on, and I didn't have it for very long. But I think they changed the code since, and it was actually very multi-ball heavy, and that was the big issue with the game. One issue I had is the same as what Craig is talking about. You only get to hear a GNR song. You have to earn it, right? There's you don't get to pick a song at the beginning of the game, any of that stuff. You have to earn your song. But then when you're in the middle of a song, you can't even focus on the damn song because you got 6 balls flying all over the place, trying to figure out what to shoot all the time, right? Yeah. So I didn't necessarily like the code on it. I haven't played it since it's been updated. I think they lowered the multi-ball heaviness of it. So I need to
give it another shot. Yeah. Ray Day in chat has a really important question for you, Craig. I don't know if you saw it, but why do you not have Rush yet? You're out of excuses, you know?
I am out of excuses. I have good news for all those wondering about Rush. So this coming year in 2025, I'm getting another pin.
Hey.
And so I'm using Expo as a bit of a refresher to try the games again and really get my head around it. I've got my eye on another machine right now. I won't say what it is. I want to play them all again. I actually have been thinking a lot about Labyrinth. Exactly. ABBA, maybe. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about Labyrinth again, and the time that you spent on that, Joel, and you guys had a blast on it, and I keep thinking, I think that game, that's gonna be one of those classic games again over time, that people are gonna come back to that game and realize how much fun it is and how great it looks.
Labyrinth is really good, and if we have time today, I would love to have a conversation about modes, because I've been having this conversation with more and more people. We had it on Triple Drain the other day, which is just like essentially the concept is, what type of mode do you guys enjoy the most? Like, where do you get the most joy? And I think the 4 of us are going to have very different answers. Hadi and Mike with being higher skill players. No offense, Craig, I'm right there with you, but they attack modes from a points and blowing up, and how do we build? How do we push our luck? How do we do this? While Craig and I are just trying to explore the mode, and
we're just happy
we get locked into the theme, or
happy to get in.
Yeah, sucked into the story, or like, what's the experience that we're having in this kind of mini moment, this little mini mode. So hopefully we can talk about that later, but I know plenty of people are here because they want to talk about X-Men. So before we get to that, though, let's keep going with the introductions. Craig, thank you, like always, for being here.
Thank you.
Hadi, go for it.
Last game I played was a lot of classics. I came from Papa 21 to honor the late great Lyman Sheets. Shirt here says "Thank you, Lyman."
Yeah.
If you can see it there. But yeah, I played a lot. Played Pat Hand, which was my new favorite classic. It's absolutely unreal with how many amazing rollovers it has. I played Kickoffs, the brother to Touchdown. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Penny Epstein, Andy Bagwell, Tom Graff, everybody that helped put on Papa 21. It was a great time, and I had a blast, and I can't wait to hopefully go again next year.
Yeah, awesome. Crap, I had a question for you.
And congrats, Ray Day, for winning the main.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Congrats, Hadi, for your top 500 now. Top 500 player.
Yeah, I made the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
A lot of people in chat were like, put the Hadi on the stream. He's never there. It was cool to see. I was in a final group with Escher, Jared August, and Derek Thompson, the eventual winner of the classics, but it was a blast. Cality on our first game kind of bummed me out, but that's pinball, and we had a good time. The pinball community is amazing, very supportive, a lot of moral and mental support that I needed to push me through. But yeah, it was a really good time, and I made my goal. I made top 500, so I'm very, very happy.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And Mike, go ahead and be the final That's a great segue.
All right.
Yep.
Well, you can you can catch me on Pinballers, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. And the last game I played actually was just Foo Fighters, just before we we got on,
Nice.
and there's a particular reason for that, not because it's Jack Danger and he's coming out with a game, I think, or something coming out soon. I don't know. But it's actually going. It's going to be leaving the bunker on the weekend.
Oh,
And the only reason is because
you hate Ray Day.
I've lost all respect for Dave Grohl now. That's it. The
Oh.
game's out the door. He cheated on his wife. That's it. The game's terrible. I don't care anymore. No, actually, I just I like to change my lineup, and it hasn't changed in quite some time.
Mhm.
And I'd like to get a couple new games into the basement before the cold weather comes, something to play
Yeah.
around with for winter. I'm hoping to get a Jaws or maybe a Bond or John Wick, which I've been really having a lot of fun with, surprisingly. I know a lot of people up and down on it, but I've enjoyed it. So anyways, yes, Foo Fighters was the last game I played. And, I regret playing games before they leave because then I
It's
say,
a
am I
good
making
game.
a mistake? Am I making a mistake?
Yeah.
Because it's a good game. It is a good game. And it's just, you just can't keep them all, right? So.
Well, Mike, I know we haven't talked in a little while, but if you could just move your head, to one side real quick, just drastically. I want to see the game behind you. I want to see if is it still Turtles?
not
There
going
it is. It's
anywhere.
still
It's not
Turtles. That's
going
right.
anywhere.
Turtles is still there. God, it's so great.
It still gets
Yeah.
played more than most of the games in here. I come down and I love to play it's honestly replaced Black Knight Sword of Rage for me as like the fast, quick, challenging game for me to play in the basement. So I know I'm enjoying it a lot.
That's awesome.
Total 180. Total 180.
There we go. That's right. Turtles is a good game. And I don't know, Mike, if we had talked since I borrowed Black Knight, but Jared and I freaking loved that game. That game.
I saw some of that.
Oh man, Hottie, you still got your Black Knight LE, right?
Yep.
Ugh, what
Yep.
like man. What I'm sorry, I'm on Team Pro. I'm on Team Pro. The Pro was plenty good, but we freaking had a blast with Black Knight. So much fun. But yeah, so you're kicking Foo Fighters out. I still see you got Rush behind you, so Ray Day can still get that little win.
Yeah. I got to keep a Ray Day game. I mean, he just won. He just won Papa, so he must know what he's doing. Somewhere, but
somewhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you know what? While we're shouting out Ray Day for winning the Papa Finals, I got to shout out Derek Thompson, a fellow Canadian. He's the number one ranked Canadian player, number one ranked Canadian. And he runs the Egg Pin, and he won the classic. So I'll give a shout out to Derek for winning that.
Well, there we go. Cool.
Nice.
I will. If we're just doing shout outs, let me go ahead and get these done. Basically, yeah, I'm Joel. This is Flipping Out Stream. I do the Triple Drain and Pinball podcast as well. And yeah, last game of pinball I played was Houdini. I played it yesterday before I wrapped it up and sent it out. So Zach did give me some quick mentions here. He said X-Men LE are selling wonderfully. We have a couple LE spots left in first run premium spots, and Location Pros first runs are due Monday. So get orders in. LE's supposed to start shipping as early as next week. So email Zach at Flipping Out if you want one of those. Avatar launches tomorrow, probably around noon. I don't know. I don't know the right time, but right around noon Central. If you want to get on the list, email Zach, ZACH at flippingoutpinball.com. Probably, they haven't announced pricing, but if it's probably going to be right at $12,000 for Platinum Edition and then $15,000 for the Collector's Edition. New accessories back in stock: Deadpool topper, Jurassic Park topper, Expression lighting kits, both Pro and Premium. Pre-orders for LE kits. I actually have an LE kit right here, ready to install. So I'm excited about that. Foo Fighters Expression playfield lighting kits, Jaws armor, Jaws art blades. And then here, just play along with me. Everybody, if you just sit there, close your eyes, think about the one or two games that you own that you don't really play that much. Open your eyes and realize you could trade them in. You could trade them in to Flip It Out and get yourself an X-Men or Avatar or Jaws or Godzilla or literally anything else. And then last but not least, coming soon to Flipping Out the pinball stream here, I will be streaming ABBA. I will be streaming ABBA at some point. I don't know when. I don't know if that's next week, but streaming ABBA, streaming Avatar, hopefully next week, streaming Uncanny X-Men LE as soon as possible, and much more. Because Zach's thinking there's a handful of games that are come out between now and the end of the year. So we got plenty more coming on the stream. And if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, leave a comment, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all the things, so you don't miss any of that. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about The Uncanny X-Men. Let's talk about. I know, man. I want to start with Hottie because I know Hottie is a huge Venom fan. I'm wearing my Spider-Man shirt. You know, same. We're talking Marvel. X-Men is X-Men. Are you just as passionate about X-Men? Were you pumped about this game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I think the demographic I fit in, and probably most of the pinball community fits in. I'd say maybe more than half are the Saturday morning Fox cartoon crowd, the animation crowd, where you had the Batman the animated series, Spider-Man, and of course X-Men. Those were three staples and pillars of my entertainment when I was younger, and even as I got older.
Yeah.
I liked comics before then, but Spider-Man, that animated series, was the first time I was introduced to Venom, and then I just got really more interested in it then. So to hear that an X-Men pin was coming out was wonderful. I was super happy about it, and with the release of X-Men 97 on Disney Plus. Great series. Please go watch it if you haven't. And all the movies throughout the 90s, or excuse me, throughout the 2000s. Really, I thought they were all pretty good. I didn't have a lot of negative opinions about them. Days of Future Past, which is the storyline that this pin is based on, is one of the best comic arcs for me. As far as not even just the X-Men, just overall, it's such a good telling of creativity of kind of what if, like the Disney series What If.
Okay.
But yeah, I was very, very into it, very intrigued by it, and I know people have Marvel fatigue. I don't. I just don't. Give me all the Marvel you can, but I understand why. So yeah, definitely.
And I'm right there with you that X-Men the animated series, I still right top Batman the animated series, right below it, yep. X-Men the animated series. So this is definitely a game. When I heard it was announced, I was pumped. When I heard Jack Danger, I was like, man, I really enjoyed the way Foo Fighters shot Zombie Yeti on art. And then I'm assuming all of us thought the same thing when we saw the game. At least for me, like, wow, that game looks awesome. The art is awesome. That layout looks to be a blast, like so unique. I don't know. Positive thoughts both for you, Mike and Craig, when you initially saw the reveal?
Yeah, definitely. The layout looked jam packed. I was like, this is impressive. Even the pro, like I looked at it, and I looked at all three versions, and I was like, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the three versions. I mean, what is in the premium and the LE, the extra stuff, is really cool.
Yeah.
But the way they still pack the pro, even though those features aren't in it, I don't feel like you would miss too much. Although really cool. I just think all three versions looked packed and great. So yeah.
I just saw one of your toppers move there.
Mike. Yeah, it's a cat topper.
Cat walk across your games. That's awesome. Craig,
I think for me too, this was the first game in some time that Stern's released where I actually sat up and thought, oh, this is really interesting. I think they've had a string lately of sort of what I would call, so-so B+ kind of releases. And I think similar to what Dennis and Zach were saying on the podcast this week, these guys were long overdue for a home run. I didn't think it would come from Jack. I actually thought it was going to be more from Elwyn. And I think although Jaws was good, it wasn't the home run that I think this title could be for Stern. I think this theme is as beloved as any of the Marvel themes that are out there, and I'm starting to think I am one of those guys that's starting to get a little, even though I'm a comic book fan, grew up reading comics, I'm getting a little tired of the Marvel themes for Stern right now. I think they need to lay off the gas. I don't think that's going to happen because I'm sure they're great sellers, which is why they keep going back to the well, and they got an artist in Zombie Yeti who can do no wrong with comic book themes. So I do think this was a slam dunk theme for them, and probably long overdue, frankly, in the ranking of Marvel themes. I think X-Men is right near the top. And again, the Jack Danger, we haven't seen enough from him, and he's still, I think, a little bit of a wild card. Like he's had great success, obviously, with Foo Fighters, but you never know because this is only his really like third, I guess if you count the home pin, so you never know if he's gonna produce a lemon or not. And I think he probably way overshot what people were expecting from this pin from him. I think he, and it's early days, I know yet, and we're just kind of seeing the gameplay on it. But I think my first impression was, again, I sat up and I thought, wow, this thing could be dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Elwyn level creativity.
Yeah.
Is what it seemed like when I first initially saw it, for sure.
That's what I was saying is in my mind I was thinking like next pinball machine I'm gonna buy is Jaws. Guaranteed, that's what it is. I'm all in. Jaws is what it's gonna be. And then this was revealed and it was like slamming on the brakes. I'm like, well, maybe I should wait. Maybe I should wait. Let's see what this is, because everything. I mean, it's a theme that I love. I love the art package. I love the colors. I love purple's a color I like. So all the magenta kind of pink colors. It's so unique. Like, man, that's going to be such a different type of game to have in the collection. I just nothing but just amazing, wonderful, wishful thoughts on how great this game's going to be. And then yeah, I saw the stream tonight. saw the stream tonight. So I don't know. Whoever wants to talk about it first, we'll go ahead and play this. If you haven't seen it, I obviously haven't muted. But there was a lot to take in. There was a lot to take in tonight on this stream. So Mike,
can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Which one?
Which Jack Danger's outfit?
Okay, so he did admit, Jack Danger did say when they streamed Deadpool for the first time that he shoved an entire T-shirt down his pants. So
yeah,
yes, if you're wondering about what Jack is wearing when you see it, I would not doubt that there is an entire T-shirt shoved down his pants. Yes,
that puts a whole new meaning to the word Cyclops.
And also,
go ahead.
Sorry, somebody in chat. I don't want to forget the comment. Somebody in chat, Trash Can Ninja said, Batman Beyond is better than Batman Animated Series. I disagree, but Batman Beyond is right up there. Right up there. So, yes. So go ahead, Craig. Just, I don't know, initial thoughts, initial impressions from the stream.
Really, I didn't have any problem with the cosplay. I thought they were trying to keep it light and fun, so I didn't have a problem with that. I love actually the room they're in right now. And I don't know if this is in their new
it's
place
the arcade. They have it. It's actually kind of middle of their facility. Actually, it's a dedicated arcade, and it's really nice that they have like a dedicated kind of streaming room at this point, or room to have like to do their videos in and whatnot.
What I didn't like about it, and I think you guys sort of agree, Jack has been streaming a long time, right? And so I think it always feels, though, to me, when he does these reveals, and I don't know why, like he's running in, with 10 minutes to spare, and he's throwing on the lights and camera, and he's getting to it. Nothing feels, it feels a little bit too fly by the seat of my pants type of thing with him. And I think for a game that he has designed, I guess they're letting him run with it and do his own thing with it. But for me personally, it just felt a little bit too slapdash. Again, I didn't have a problem with the costumes and stuff like that, but I just didn't like the vibe that it was throwing off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
now look at that art. I mean, Jesus,
I know the art is incredible.
Going on there.
It's incredible, but there's a lot to take in here, including Zach Sharp here in a Wolverine costume. One thing about the costumes is both of them. Okay, so first and foremost, I've had the chance, like Labyrinth. I was one of the first people to stream Labyrinth, and honestly, it was intimidating. It was intimidating because I went into the stream thinking a lot of people have worked really, really hard on this game. And I want to make sure that I show off what the game is. I don't want my skill or lack of skill or technical issues or anything like that to interfere with showing off what this game is. That was it was an intimidating thought to have going into streaming Labyrinth one of the first times. So my view is anytime I stream a game, I want to explain the game. I want to show what's fun about this game. I want to make sure I want to share that experience with others. And unfortunately, I just don't feel like that was the priority today. On this stream tonight, I feel like everybody in that room has played this game a bunch, and they went in with this mentality of like, hey guys, let's do costumes, let's have fun, let's just whatever, whatever. It's just, but they never once in an hour-long stream actually explained what's going on. They made a few comments about it. They're like, hey, we should probably explain how that mode works. Oh, we should probably this. We should probably like the closest explanation I got was you hit the yellow lights and that's how you can start a mode. But then they never explained any of the modes. They just didn't explain any. And I think I read somewhere online that it's 0.76 code, so it's still early code.
Yeah, it showed up on the LCD.
Okay, so, but it's just like, to me, we've already seen the pictures, we've already seen the layout. What people are wanting from this stream is audio, animations, and then show us the modes, explain the game.
Show us the flow.
We heard the audio.
Yes, is just as important as layout now. I mean, not more important a lot of the times. Like,
I mean, here's the thing. They had everything right from the start. The announcement was great. The teaser was fine. The announcement came out. The featurette with George Gomez introducing Jack and then explaining the shots, and everybody was on board. They were like, "All right, give it to us. You're about to sell $13,000 machines to a public that is weary of the high prices, sort of the kind of seemingly low BOM on recent machines, and you have a chance to sell your machine." And here we come. You couldn't hear Wei-san on part of the stream when he's trying to explain it. So I kind of agree with Craig. It does seem kind of was like thrown together. And then you're sitting there trying to show off the game. The center post isn't saving you, and you're already at a handicap because you have gloves that won't allow you to play the game, claws that won't allow you to play the game. I get you want to have fun, but these are expensive machines. If your first impression to someone like me who's ready to jump all in on an LE, even premium and pro buyers, is to throw this together and give it to me with this. Thank God for Nick Wayna playing a solo game, because I got to see the whole past and or the future and going to the past sort of dynamic, which looks amazing. The shot flow wasn't there because there were short ball times because you handicapped yourself from the outset. I don't understand why I've premiered virtual pinball tables in the past, and I understand the hecticness of it. These are small things, like technical things can go wrong. But this is a professional company with a new dedicated streaming room. I just don't understand the approach to this. I know it's going to turn out to be an amazing pin. I have full faith and confidence in what they did based on the past with Bond and all the other pins that have had early code. Even Foo Fighters code took a long time to get there, but look at it now, and Jack is a great designer. But man, this was not the right way to start your gameplay premiere. And I know they're going to fix it for the pro stream, but this did not instill confidence in those of us who live and die by FOMO. Yeah, basically.
That's all very valid. And Zach actually asked a really good question here in chat. If you remember back to the first stream of Jaws was actually a pre-recorded video that Elwin made. So the question is, what do we like, these animations better or the original Jaws animations better? Because remember, I don't know if you guys remember some of the original Jaws animations. There was I think the wheel on the thing had just like terrible font. I mean, it was like people they nitpicked, just like anything. Pinside nitpicked, but I don't know.
This doesn't have to be like this negative pile on. But they've got to. The good thing is, George, especially George, he takes the criticism and positive, constructive feedback to heart. He's not going to read the comments that say, "Oh, Stern's just fleecing you for the." This looks like an amazing pin, but this was not the appropriate demonstration to provide as your first look. That featurette was amazing. I was ready to I was ready to watch this gameplay and say, okay, here we go. How can I swing this one this year? But man, I've just got to wait, play it myself, like Dennis would agree with on the pinball show, and go from there.
So Zach is clarifying. I think he's asking like layout wise. I would
Jaws
say
and
This is a
X-Men?
layout. I think because of how crazy this layout is, this is a layout that I'm like dying to flip it. I'm dying to
Yeah.
experience that.
It's more creative than Jaws. I will say that. Yeah. I do like. I have some problems with Jaws. The reel shot, the little reel shot, there's a little issue sometimes depending on how it's set up. I don't know about X-Men. I do suspect that there may be some issues here and there with it. A couple of the shots in the game, but I mean, when we get into the actual game, we can talk about that after. But as far as the stream goes, I agree with everything you guys are saying. It was too short, not informative enough. Yeah, they didn't show off enough of the game. I thought maybe they were doing that because the code was a little thin and maybe they didn't have a lot to show, so they didn't want to get into it. And then I thought, well, maybe they're trying a different approach, whereas before, when they first started doing reveals, they would pull the glass off and do switches and this and that and show all
Dwight
the modes.
was
And people
literally,
complained.
he had like notes and explained and touched and
Yeah, and people complained about that. So then they pulled away from that, and now this is like the other extreme where they're not showing or explaining anything, just playing the game, showing, I guess, the shots and the flow of the game, which looks great, but they didn't really explain much to get anyone excited about how they're going to play through the game.
Yeah, like this Wolverine mode right here, they all played it multiple times. All I'm seeing is 3 flashing yellow lights and a blue light. Now, at one point, they did say every mode has a way to perfectly complete it, which is the blue light. So technically, you want to be focusing on the blue light. But that was the thing. It's like in a 50-something minute stream, everybody kept playing the same mode because they kept dying. So that's where it's like, if they keep draining... Is this a brutal layout? Is this a short ball time game? Is this I think it was one of the streams in the past, I heard that like they purposely jacked the legs way up because they didn't want, when you have really skilled players, they don't want, somebody going forever they want to show different people playing. So it's like they purposely made the game really hard. Is this game set up purposely hard for the stream, or is this actually how hard the game is? I don't know. I don't know that answer.
I will say, just opinion-wise, obviously because I haven't played the game, but I feel like, at least from a competitive standpoint, that this game actually may be a long player. And the reason I'm going to say that is because if you look at every major shot with the main flippers, not the danger room, but the main flippers,
yep.
I think every single shot, with the exception of the Sentinel, is a ramp or a feed that goes directly back to your flipper. So a player like, let's say, Ray Day or Jason Zoller or whatever, these guys that don't miss, they're just going to have a field day, hitting shots. Yeah. Come back to the flippers,
Stop and go.
I feel like that might create a longer playing game, but again, that's just probably for a small percentage of people. The rest of us, even competitive players, aren't as accurate and may still have issues with it. But I do think it might be a longer playing game in the end, despite the fact that it didn't look like that in the stream. And again, we've already discussed reasons for that.
Sure.
Whether it's
claws
on your hand or outfits or whatever,
gloves where you can't see or move the game. But like
Go watch Escher versus Zoller at the Northwest Pinball Championship playing Gold Wings. They stayed there for a long time in that danger room area that's on Gold Wings. It's one of those things where they can make it a long player. Now, will it be a long player for everybody else? We'll see.
Yeah, it did not look like a long player on this stream for sure. And but that's what I understand. I watch this and I'm trying to evaluate. I think I'm definitely a worse player than Zach Sharp and wow, Jack Danger. I'm definitely worse than them. But I don't know. Just trying to evaluate. Well, how am I going to handle this? And I was impressed. The danger room. People actually end up in the danger room a decent number from that shot. It just happened right there where the ball bounces above. It bounces above the pop bumper right here and goes into the danger room. So you can end up in the danger room even when you're not purposely hitting that shot. But yeah, to me, I'm like early on here. It's like right now, I think like he's in a multi-ball and I'm seeing some red flashing shots, but I'm not like, I'm waiting for that theme integration. Like, tell me, okay, in this, like, think about, there's a Juggernaut mode in this, right? There's a Juggernaut mode in Deadpool. In Juggernaut, it's like, hey, you're trying to get him to crash the wall. So you're purposely hitting the stand-ups on the side or the drop targets on the side. And then once he crashes through the wall, he's dazed. So you got to hit him. And that's where it's like, there's a story. There's something there. And maybe there is a story like that in these modes. There's a Gambit mode I saw. But I'm just nothing was explained. Nothing was shown here. So I was disappointed in that sense. So I'm very eager to see this streamed again. I know selfishly I'm excited to get this in the house so I can dissect it, and I'll do my best to explain what I'm seeing, what I'm doing, all those things. But anyways, that's modes. Let's talk about audio. Anybody's
can I go on that?
Yeah, go ahead, Hadi. Go ahead.
I don't know what they were thinking with this voice acting. Gambit sounds awful. He sounds like a terrible version of Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. You could not have picked someone to sound less like Gambit than this voice actor. I don't know what they use for it. Storm, I don't want to say sounds cringe, but it's not a good look. Those two were standouts. To me, the best voice audio in this pin or the Sentinels, and that's not a good thing because the Sentinels you can get from any AI program, and I'm surprised they just didn't use AI to get something close here. Licensing and copyright issues aside, but it was the voice acting was so underwhelming to me, and they usually do a great job with that. I've never had an issue with anything on the Stern pins regarding voice acting, and I was kind of taken aback, and I said, what is going on here? And then the default theme for the present day mode you're in,
just the normal mode,
doesn't match the pins theme. It's supposed to be, everybody knows the iconic X-Men theme, and you can't have that looping over and over. I mean, if you wanted to, and I would love it. I don't get tired of hearing the Turtles theme during multi-ball. But for this, I don't know why they chose that as the default theme. There's plenty of more upbeat, synthetic, or synthwave options you could go with, and everything else was sort of fine. That's my take on it.
The X-Men
considering the music is done by a drummer for a heavy metal band, for two heavy metal bands. Pantera and Anthrax. Charlie Benante is the drummer for both of those bands. I am surprised about the music as well. I actually was quite surprised that with his name attached to it, that it was completely not what I expected to be.
Mm-hmm. Who did the music for Black Knight?
Scott Ian from Anthrax, a fellow band member. Yeah,
and I know I enjoyed the original audio package of Black Knight. It's a lot of guitars, a lot of heavy metal, a lot of energy, but then they ended up, apparently the European market hated it. And so they ended up making the second sound package, which is much more adventurous, orchestrative. And I love that sound package, actually. Yeah. But this, you're right, this screen right here, this kind of, you haven't done anything, you're not in a battle, you're not into this, not into that. It's a very chill, lo-fi kind of thing, and I don't know if it's supposed to be in the 1990s. I mean, maybe the music is appropriate, but it's very low energy. It's very chill. And and I understand when it goes to the future, though, the music changed. So I know they're trying to do a dynamic thing there. But yeah, you got to make sure that the main thing that you start every game, the main song you're going to hear when you hit. I mean, that's the best thing about TNA. When you ball one on TNA, you're already rocking out. Second one, the moment you plunge, the bass comes in. You need a banger for your normal stand-in lobby, hanging out mode. And I was a little disappointed in that. And then the voice acting, I do know just because Marvel is very particular. Like Avengers had the same thing. I think they used the same handful of people for all their voice acting, but yeah, Gambit was a miss. Gambit was a miss.
It's tough. Yeah.
If you don't like the call outs or the I guess the voice acting in this game, do yourself a favor and just watch the first Stern version of X-Men and check out the voice acting in that. You will have a an appreciation for the voices in this game. Like it was the first
Yeah.
X-Men was really, really bad. It was like, I mean, not only were the voiceovers bad, but like their acting was bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Juicy
it
Time
was,
looks fun, but the music's terrible. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go ahead, Craig.
I just found that the voices,
Ooh.
unfortunately, were a little bit too generic.
Sorry, look
and
at this real quick. So this is the first time I just saw the hand move the thing out of the way.
yeah,
Send it down the middle.
And it threw it right down the middle.
Yep.
It's gonna happen right.
Yeah, go back and see that.
It's gonna go. Did that just happen? Was it right
yeah,
there?
yeah. No, that's exactly where it. Yeah, right there.
Boom! Throws
Boom.
it right down the middle.
Wow.
No. So
Yeah, that's sick.
yeah. Okay. Sorry, Craig.
So I wasn't really that disappointed with either the anime. You know, when I first saw it, I thought, well, this is like I'm still not sure with these comic book titles if they've really found that sweet spot yet with these animations. And I know I think they're doing better each time, and they're trying to put more movement and stuff into it. But it doesn't. Something's missing from these for me. It's better than the Avengers was, that's for sure, but it's still got a ways to go. And I think, and I don't know what that is, if it's more movement, which obviously, you know, you're talking about more cost and stuff, so I get it. I don't love this approach, you know, with kind of like motions and swinging and the static guys kind of sliding across the screen, you know? Anyway, that's just me. And as far as the voice acting was concerned, I was like, it's not the worst we've heard, I don't think, in a pin, but it's not fantastic either. So it's kind of just middle of the road. And I think the problem is with a lot of these characters too, that we've come to sort of hear in the movies and through the animations, the animation TV shows. You know, they're not going to get to that level. It's too bad they couldn't even just hire the guys who are doing the, you know, X-Men 97 and go, all right, there's all your guys. You're gonna be familiar. I guess that was too expensive as well to bring that
pull
team
clips
in
from the show.
That's what I would have tried to get for sure. I'm like, we got to get the guys from X-Men 97. If we can't get obviously the Hollywood actors, you know, we got to get the guys from the animation series at least. Like, surely they'll be, you know, whatever at a lower pay grade that we can get all these folks in and get some good call outs. I don't know. I guess not.
It's a good point. I mean, yeah, you would think with X-Men 97, the cast is all right there, but I don't know. I'm not in marketing. I don't know how much it would cost to hire, or even if you just limited, like, okay, we need Charles Xavier, we need Logan, we need Storm, you know, like, let's just shoot for 5 or whatever. Like,
yeah.
But there were like Magneto introduces himself at one point. I'm glad he did, because I know there's a mode with Magneto, and the voice started, and I'm thinking, I don't know what character this person talking is, you know, and he goes, nobody's gonna my name as Magneto. I was like, okay, that's Magneto. And there was one time I was like, oh, it's Cyclops talking, and then it was, no, it's Professor Xavier. I'm like, is the same guy doing? So but hey, the good thing about code is it could improve, you know. Call outs, they can always add more call outs, they can always tweak music. It's doable. There's animation. I mean, this is 0.76 code. There's a lot more that can improve. You know, Zach saying, give an incredible layout in Toys and Mechs over. But I get it. This is early on. I understand. You know, there were call outs even in Jaws. There were call outs in Godzilla that people hated in the initial reveal, you know.
There was no call outs in John Wick.
Oh yeah, there was nothing. There was
nothing,
no direction in John Wick. So it was just an interesting thing of, you know, from a marketing standpoint, like, does a stream like this, does it help it or hurt it? You know, should they just go ahead and ship LEs before they started streaming? I don't know.
Look at Zach's statements. Give me incredible layout, Toys and Mechs over better calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, give me a stream that shows those incredible layout and Toys and Mechs, and this stream didn't do that. It gave me nothing. It gave me no introduction to how all of this ties together. And I wish they would have hit a home run on this, because then all 811 LEs, you know, would be closer to selling out. I don't understand the approach on this. And that center, Jack explained, hey, the flipper gap is the same. I measured it on Foo Fighters. He explained the danger room, how you could stage flip the mini flipper there. Super awesome, especially during multi-ball
Yeah.
when you can trap up and stage flip the little flipper, like sort of an advancement on Jaws without having to use the flip lock there. There's just so much cool stuff in here. And then we didn't get to see much of it or how it all ties together, because it kept going down the center drain and that center post did nothing. I saw it bounce once off off the center.
Rubber off. I don't know
and
if
I
there's
was
a rubber on there, maybe.
You play a game like Stars from yesteryear, and you get so many great chances at hitting the truss post and saving yourself. And I didn't see that here, which is a real shocker to me, because I thought they were going to be highlighting that and saying, hey, look at what we just did. But it never happened. It kept going in between.
So Go ahead, Greg.
And I'll just say too, for a game that everyone suspected might be a bit of a long player, I don't know, again, if it's just because they're wearing costumes here, but I didn't see a lot of long ball times here. You know,
Zach Sharp is playing through a white mesh right now. Like, he can't see anything.
With claws on his fingers too.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to hear excuses.
Okay. What I do know here, if right here at the top, they did say this little area right here is talking about the danger room.
Correct.
So it's
and that's how you level it up.
Yeah. So it's like, this is the spinner shot. This looks to be some sort of target, a pop bumper, some warning shot. So the pop bumper would be here. I'm assuming the ramp. I don't know, but each one of these deals with. So this is something that you're always chipping away at, and you can level up the value. Oh, okay. On the inside.
There's a stand up just above the flipper to the right. And then there's another stand up, and then there's one on the left just below the spinner. Yeah.
Right there.
So I think those, and then one actually right on the left of the ramp, I believe.
Okay.
But I could be wrong there.
So
I think maybe they equate to that as well.
That's that.
But they didn't explain it. They didn't explain it fully, right?
There's a bunch of characters over here, and it looks like you have to qualify certain ones. So like, I know Gambit is related to this pop bumper. You shoot the pop bumper so many times, and then they basically were like, you can hit the pop bumper again, and then your next shot is doubled. But that's about where there's a whole lot of stand-ups all over the play field, and I think they deal with Nightcrawler, but they didn't really explain that. The Beast target, the Beast target, I really have no idea what this captive ball toy is for, what it's used.
Like mystery
inserts
though.
Sort of
like
a mystery award kind of thing.
Well, I did. There is a picture of the scorecard, not the scorecard, the rules card on the the rules card that typically comes with the game, and it does explain a few things like the danger room stuff. I equate that similar to the drop targets on Foo Fighters. It kind of helps upgrade your modes and stuff like that. And then the captive ball thing is for awards, is what it says. Well, progression for awards.
In front of every main shot, you have your normal arrow, which was color changing RGB. It's signifying, hit it or not. Then it looks like it's this kind of square with the point. That looks like a sentinel head. And I know when they went into the future, it looked like there were times where sentinels would light up and they would block your shots. So that'll be interesting for sure. What I just saw Jared's name. I think this stream was really confused everyone. The layout's still going to kick butt. I will wait for Jared and Joel's stellar play to make my... Yeah, Jared. I can't wait to put Jared in front of this, who doesn't watch any streams, doesn't watch anything. We're going to set him in front of this, and he's going to be like, what? It'll be great. It'll be great. But yeah, just looking at a lot of these, it's just... I think maybe that was my biggest frustration was I don't feel like I really learned much more about this game at all after watching it stream for 50 minutes. And honestly, I had my laptop out in the kitchen. I was watching it. And then after I watched a handful of it, I was just like, well, let me just listen to the rest of the stream. So I'm like washing dishes and stuff. And when all you can do is hear the game, that's when it really stood out to me. The audio, the sounds, the sound package, the music, and the lack of, instruction. And that's all choreography that can be added later, light show and whatnot. So, I don't. Unfortunately, my takeaway or walking away from the stream, it was kind of it's a little less than I felt going into it, but luckily, all the negativity I have is all stuff that could improve or could change.
Did the one thing I really like, Joel, in terms of a mech, I do think for on paper, this Sentinel head actually looks fantastic
Yeah.
when they went close on it.
Mhm.
And they did that camera angle from the side, excuse me. I think the coloring that they chose for that,
Oh, the
and just
painting
the
on it's
way
great,
the mouth opens up and it rises, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
Did that Magneto magnet even kick in at all
Yeah,
during
it
the
did.
game?
Yeah.
Okay.
It kicked in a couple times, and it's fantastic. It actually looks like it works perfectly. Again, their mechs and toys here are on point. The whole playfield depicting a giant sentinel with two hands and a head. They knocked this out of the park theme-wise. If you just look at it from a bird's eye view, you couldn't have. There are going to be complaints about the art because of how busy it is, but that's how comics are. I don't buy that argument. But as far as integrating the essence of this arc, they did an excellent job. Absolutely excellent in all facets of the mechs, toys, and art. And like, I agree with you with this stuff. Look at Bond, look at Stranger Things, look at Fu, Code, and everything can improve, which is why I have full confidence this is going to be, as the kids say, a banger. It's going to be a really, really good pin, but the first step they took here was not the step they needed to make.
And I can even
that's a banger.
Yeah.
I can even give the animations a pass because it's comic book. It's after the comic book. It's supposed to emulate a comic book. So having like animated characters with full animation and stuff like that may take away from the comic book feel of it.
Here's the storm mode, by the way. Like
it does. Yeah. Oh, the fire something.
So it's something with red shots or the fire shots, and you have to hit them and they turn blue.
Yeah.
To get perfect, you hit all the reds first, then you hit all the blues.
Oh.
So like you can see here, there is some animation to it. Yes, it's pretty basic, and I think it's supposed to capture the feel of a comic book. So I get that. I don't have an issue with that. It does feel very Avengers-y in that sense, and I believe Avengers was sort of modeled after the comic book as well. Am I wrong on that? But maybe not. I got a little worried when they briefly talked about the collecting of the characters and you bring them to the past or the future or whatever.
Well,
I started thinking, oh my God, is this just like another sort of Avengers type thing where you're collecting X-Men instead of Avengers and that sort of stuff? But again, I don't know because they didn't go that deep into it. So,
well, right here you can see Gambit and Wolverine are highlighted. He is. Lit
what
them,
did they do,
collected them, done something with them.
I think they maybe. I think they're qualified to go to their future mode. I could be wrong
because I think he did. Yeah,
mean?
he had done.
Oh, he did.
He did their modes. He did the Gambit mode and the Wolverine mode. That's what I thought.
That's the mode.
So this is the mode. So it's like Turtles. But Turtles on the right, you have the modes.
Other modes open up once you've completed them in that little square grid you saw.
That's when you go to the future, right? You go to the future, you open up more modes. Yeah,
it tells you on the LCD future character's future has been qualified or is ready.
Okay. So about the animation style, honestly, the animations here are actually very similar to the Foo Fighters animation, which is all hand drawn. I think almost all this is hand drawn or created by the Stern team. It's just everybody loved them in Foo Fighters because there wasn't anything else to pull from, right? I mean, it's either you do live Foo Fighters footage
Foo Fighters was more animated, though.
You just
Foo Fighters was definitely more animated.
And this is tough though because this was an animated show. So we know what X-Men looks like in an animated fashion. We've seen countless hours of it. And then Disney Plus with X-Men 97 just redid it even better, the animation quality. So we know how good X-Men can look in an animated form. But that's a high. I mean, that's a high hurdle, or the bar has been set very high. And again, I think bring that into this.
I think they just wanted to. Yeah, I think they just wanted to keep the comic book feel. I really, really think that because there's no other reason for it. I mean, like you said with Foo Fighters, I really think they still wanted to keep the aesthetic of the comic book in the animations to limit it a little bit. Unless there's one thing we haven't talked about, and that could be the licensor. right? They didn't want animations. Maybe they wanted it to become more comic book like. We don't know that Stern didn't want to have it be animated, and maybe Marvel said,
Mhm.
no, we want you to keep it sort of comic booky or something. I don't know.
There's always licensor decisions here that we
Yeah.
will never be aware of. But my guess would be, if they're going to be pulling X-Men 97 clips, then the whole thing would have to be X-Men 97.
Yeah.
And, we've heard before some of these older shows, when you go to pull clips, if in Turtles, why did they not pull the original Turtle clips? Well, the quality of them are terrible and they're not widescreen. It's like that would create its own set of challenges. But I don't know. I'm still I don't know. I think there have been streams where people come off that initial stream and probably distributors just get bombarded with sales. And then I think there's been other streams where distributors get a bunch of phone calls because they want to cancel sales for the game. But this was one of those where I was just surprised. I was surprised. Jack has streamed so many games, and I think I agree with some of the statements Craig made earlier. The costumes, as fun as that is, it hindered you from being able to show the game off well. What is Zach saying here? I have nearly zero care for the X-Men theme. The game compared to other pinball machines is on another level. Stern, please keep making pack themes. Yes, it is. The layout is exciting, and the layout is something they can't change. So the layout's all good. The art's all good. Everything we're complaining about right now is stuff that could be improved. 100%.
Or stuff that we just don't know about because we haven't seen enough of it. I mean, right?
Yes.
There could be more there. We just don't. Well, I mean, I guess the animations are the animations, but I mean, there's other music, other stuff in the game.
Oh yeah,
we probably
there's
haven't
so
seen
much
that,
more they could tweak.
Because this is so packed. Is this going to be is this going to take some getting used to the way this geometry flows?
100%.
I'm a little nervous how condensed the right is. I was looking at that right ramp and I couldn't tell if it was as thin as the John Wick center ramp. I don't think it is.
It's very vertical if you look at pictures.
Okay, yeah, there's no room to make errors on this, and I love that. For me, that's just so unique. Other than harkening back to again Gold Wings and Spy Hunter. But man, I really hope this is a winner as far as flow, because Jack said there's an 8-way combo you can make, and then there's a way to perfect paddock every mode basically, perfectly clear it. So I'm excited for it, but I'm a little cautious.
Yeah. Somebody had asked earlier in that if somebody ever hit the kitty pride shot. You can't hit it directly, but a ball just went down it. I think absolutely, just like any other game, this game, once you find the shots, things are going to be. I think the game's going to shoot great. And I'm okay with it being hard. You can always make a game easier if you really want to, closing the out lanes, setting it to 5-ball, doing whatever. I think there was a lot of times people were relying on that center post when they normally wouldn't if it wasn't there, with a slap save or whatever. But there's a lot of times where I saw in the stream people were just relying on the center post and then being disappointed. So just a lot more wait and see. But yeah, that was our initial feedback on that. We're about the halfway point. So we got plenty more to talk about, but hopefully LEs are shipping soon. So hopefully we'll have more people playing it, streaming it. We'll have people touching them at Expo, and hopefully there'll be pros out on location soon. Next topic.
As if that wasn't enough.
Next topic. We'll plug Silverball Swag. Silverball Swag. Go to silverballswag.com. And
look at that.
Yeah, flipping out pinball stream. We have merch now. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Go to Silverball Swag. Go to promoters. Check out Flipping Out Pinball. Jared and I have a shirt now, designed by Johnny Crap. So if you want to support us,
look at that.
I know it's ridiculous. It's and people have bought them, which is just blowing my mind.
What the heck?
I know. All right, so let's talk about the next game, which is coming out tomorrow. Oh, Jared's here. Jared's here. What up, Jared? Bye. Is Tom here? Fox Cities? I saw him earlier. Let's talk about this reveal trailer. Well, we can actually talk about this real quick. This was the last picture released. This was released today on Facebook. But what I will say is, I actually, while I was working today, I had the second Avatar movie up. I had the second Avatar movie up playing, so I was kind of watching it. I mean, I was working 100% of my mind was focused on my job. If anybody of my employers is listening, but no, I had the movie on. Everything I'm seeing here is from the second movie. I'm very curious to see. I mean, this whole underwater thing they're saying, that's second movie. Every one of these characters, second movie. Characters over here, second movie. Characters over here, second movie. So I'm curious if this is how much of the first movie is going to be in this game.
Looked very underwatery.
Yeah,
and that was the second movie, right? So
just a thing. Yeah. So I don't know. Don't know what's going to happen there. But I do like the art style. I know. Well, here it says it down here. So art right here, Leah Faske, Faske. Jared, if you're listening, I think she's done some Magic the Gathering cards. So Leah Faske, somebody new, somebody new to all this. So I do like the art style. I think it's well done. I think it's fun. I'm liking this. So Mark Seiden on design, Keith Johnson on code, Taylor Snyder, Jason Allen, I don't know them. Animations, Jay to Win, so the guy that's done every JJP game. Audio, this STEMAGE. So it's, I don't know who that is. I think it's the same company. I read it somewhere. It's the same company that did the audio in Mark Seiden's Metroid game.
Yeah, have you seen that, the Metroid?
I have seen it.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yep.
He streamed a lot of that when he was making it too. I watched a lot of his streaming as he was doing building that.
All right. So let's do this. Check this out. If you guys didn't know, you can go into YouTube. You can go, I'm not going to do 4K. It's not going to get through the stream. You can go to playback speed. You can set that to 0.5 or even slower if you want. But if you didn't know this, you can pause with spacebar, but you can hit the period button and you can go frame by frame.
I didn't know that.
Period is 1 frame advanced, comma, 1 frame back. So, let's just go through this. Let's see what we're seeing here. All right. So back left corner of the playfield. What are we seeing? First off, I'm seeing UV. I'm seeing UV lights.
Beautiful.
In the movie, there's 2 or 3 times where there's a they're at the mother tree, which the mother tree is underwater. There's an eclipse. That happens, and all of a sudden, when the eclipse happens or nighttime, that's when all these dots show up. So I have no doubt this is gonna look good. I'm gonna. Thought everyone knew that.
Look at the side art too. Jeez,
yeah,
that's amazing.
No doubt this is going to look good. But if we look at frame by frame, what am I seeing? We got a flipper here. It's going that way. We got a ramp that looks like it turns around, goes this way, feeds this wire form, heads that way. Yeah. What else are we seeing? There's a VUC, I think, right here. You go this way, and then there's a VUC. The wire form goes that way.
They look powder coated, don't they? Those wire forms, or
no? I think they're just chromed.
Okay.
But the more I see it, but
there's
this
another wire form underneath too, like leading to that wire form from the ramp is kind of
something feeds. I think it feeds into this and goes that way.
That might be the VUC feeding around to that.
This ramp goes that way, and then the VUC goes that way.
That's your lock on the left.
This is the mech, the fighter dude mech. But there's a weird wire form thing here, and then if you look, it feeds down, and then it drops the ball. It drops the ball right here.
It's for the flipper. It drops it for the flipper.
Drops the ball right there. Yeah.
So you can make those upper 2 center shots with the lit green insert.
Yeah,
it looks like on the right side.
Oh, so it feeds that. It feeds it. Nah, it looks like a full size flipper. Yeah, and then it's going that way. Sure? I see what you're saying.
I think it was mini.
You think maybe probably, it was mini?
Yeah.
And then if you look that further, the rightmost insert looks like it curves around. So you probably need that upper flipper to hit the shot on the right.
Okay, there's the last one. And now this does say lock, so this looks to be like a left orbit, but something back there is doing something. It might
lead to the VUC. Maybe it leads to the VUC.
Maybe.
like a little orbit around to the Vuck or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
this is from the second movie. That whole clip is from the second movie. All right, what do we got here? This is the ball lock that was shown. Yeah, this creature, underwater creature, second movie. The flying thing he's doing here, second movie. This says light lock. So it looks like this is from the side. So I'm thinking that side flipper or something. You got to hit these two targets to light lock. And then we have one underwater play field here. But I don't.
Just a pop bumper? I think it looks like a pop
know
bumper.
what's going on down here.
That looks like a pop.
It
There's
says
no flipper or anything.
mountains. I don't know. There's a target, but I don't know what's hitting this. I don't know what's going on. I don't
Is that like Congo except without the flipper?
I don't know. I don't know what mech is down there. There's a lot of lights down there.
I think it's a pop. I think it's just a pop. You send it down there and hit all those.
underneath.
So something goes down there and
insert?
the thing just popping it
Maybe
up.
the pop bumper is supposed to hit some targets or something, and then it
Mhm.
drops behind it when it. Yeah, I don't know.
So can I ask you real quick? So in
Mhm.
Jack Danger's presentation on the featurette, he said about X-Men, he said, well, I wanted to have XYZ. I also wanted to have targets you couldn't hit on purpose. This reminds me of that. Do you prefer that? I kind of don't, because there's enough RNG in pinball where I don't want something I can't purposefully hit or aim for. This seems like one of those things where I just send it and hope for the best.
Well, Hottie, welcome to my world.
It's
Okay,
not-
there's plenty of targets that I can't hit on purpose. So that's just how pinball works.
I would say it's okay as long as it's not an integral part of the game. Right?
Okay.
Like if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just something that might help you a little bit, then I'm okay with it. But if it's a major part of the game where you can't hit it on purpose, then yeah, that's a problem.
Spoiler: the way that the first movie ends is with Jake, this character, opening his eyes, and the way that the second movie ends, it's a close up on his eyes. That's all. I'm just saying it's a close up on his eyes. So for them to bring that in, if that's how they're like ending both the first movie and the second movie, okay, that's cool. Topper here.
Do we know the name of the game? The actual name of the game? Is it themed?
The Battle
actually...
for Pandora.
Exactly. So is it actually themed after the movies, or is it like Jurassic Park? You know how Jurassic Park just has
they have all the
theme.
assets.
Yeah, this is
They
all.
have the assets. Yeah. They have assets and they have video.
Yeah.
But is the story of the game going to be the movies, or is it the Battle for Pandora? Is it just going to be?
It's got to be. It's got to be. It's got to be the story of the movie. Just because why else would you have the clips? I mean, if you're
the
not
only reason why I ask is, right, the name is not part of the movie. This is the names of the movies or anything like that. It's like a completely different name. So I'm wondering if there's if they've got a loosely narrated story that does use video clips from the movies, but. Yeah. More kind of goes in its own direction with the game itself.
This, I actually, that's a good point. I assume it's all just straight movie, but I don't know if it'll be perfectly linear. Don't know. There's a lot of battles. There's a lot of battles in the first movie. There's a lot of battles in the second movie. I was trying to think about that while I was watching the movie today. Like, besides the fights, what else can you do? Like flirting. Is that a mode? I don't know. Like date night. If somebody's seen the second movie, is that a mode? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Training. They do a lot of training too.
There's training. Yes.
So there could be some training that
this topper, because this is the CE. This topper, you'll see it in another clip. The display changes. So this is some sort of holographic, or maybe it's an LCD panel or something. But this is not a static image up here on the topper. Just a heads up for when we get there. Okay.
Looks like a video.
So what do we got here? This is about this is what we're given. We this is the bigger lower play field. We got 4 stand-up targets over here that look to be real thin, but also very spaced apart. And I don't
jam a ball in between them if you hit it hard enough.
Quite know why. I don't know why. Especially when I'd prefer there to be drops, but obviously there's a play field under there, so they probably can't fit drops. I don't know what those do. We'll watch these balls fly around.
There's the other underwater playfield or under playfield.
That one has flippers.
There's a bunch of inserts. Yes, in the way that you'll see in another shot, the way the playfield's not straight up and down. It's definitely turned. It's definitely turned kind of at an angle. It'll be interesting how that plays. What are we seeing here?
Adam said they're the 4 kids.
Yes, these are
Mm-hmm.
this is his family. This is his family. He has 2 sons, his adopted daughter, his little daughter. This is the bad guy. And then there was a human child left on. Babies can't go into the cryo sleep. So there was a human child left after the first one that they raised on Pandora, and they call him Spider. Is his name. That's who this character is. Yeah. What are we seeing here? Are we seeing anything? I don't know what any of these words are, by the way. There's like, I listened to the movie. I didn't read it. So I don't, like, some of these things down here, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what some of these different modes are. And
they will be abbreviated during commentating.
It must be their language,
It's
Can't
definitely...
wait for the pronunciation of them.
Yeah.
So this over here says add arrow, and that says add arrow. And that's what all these are. They looks like there's like these thin inserts on the inside here. So I don't know the danger warning. The 2 danger warnings down here at the bottom. That's an Eric Minier thing. I'm glad that's continued. I like seeing that. I like seeing how many dangers I have.
Those arrows remind me of the Godzilla missiles that you collect on each side.
Adam Streeter, Joel. Left one is the clan from the first movie. Right one is the clan from the second movie. Spider, this kid was not in the first movie. He was not in the first movie. This clan,
things,
that clan versus that clan. The first movie is all about the forest people. They're in the forest, they're in the big tree. Second movie, I won't explain why, but it's the water people. The water people.
Yep. The underwater land.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So love how in focus this shot is. It's great. It's an action shot. Watch this Mex. Watch his left arm. Watch his left arm. It is down. It is down. Oh, it's up. It's up. It moves. That arm moves. I don't know if people caught that, but the arm on that mech moves.
But does he eat the ball?
No, the mech does not eat the ball. So this is from the earlier angle. So there's that upper flipper. You can see here's the big under the lower playfield. That's the small lower playfield with the mech that we don't know what it is. This looks to be a ball lock that's under kind of like the grave lock or whatever on like Metallica where it locks the balls. Obviously there's a scoop here. And then this ramp, this is what I was trying to figure out. Where does this ramp go? Because
like a 180?
It goes up. And remember, we saw that earlier where there's a wire form here where it would like drop the ball. But I don't understand what this wire form is. I don't know. I don't know what that does. I don't know. I do not know. And we'll pay attention later on. That is a ramp bent on the outside because the ball's hitting it. No. Oh, feeds to an orbit. I don't know. I don't know this yet. And then we look at this. We have this wire form that comes from somewhere back here to feed the left flipper. So the ball goes up. The ball's going up. Nope, never. The ball's coming down. Okay, so where'd that ball come from? I don't know. So if the ball's coming down from there, I don't know. This is the thing. There's the ball, and it's coming on down. But I don't know where.
Maybe it's a rejected shot that didn't make it all the way up.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, huge rubber here, but that actually looks like it's a sling. It looks like it's actually shooting. Will hit that ball out.
Is it one? It looks like it might. Like if you follow that ramp, it might 180 and then come back around, like right where you're, and then up and around.
Yeah, but
possibly.
It also goes back here. And
or maybe there's a diverter. I don't know.
I don't know. This thing right here looks like it's a light. Same with that. Yeah. It's a weird triangle thing. So maybe that's where the UV is hidden. So maybe there's 2 spots in there. Don't know, but we'll know tomorrow. We'll know more tomorrow.
There's your mech suit. Cool.
There's the mech. That arm moves, guys. Oh, see, it's moving. That arm's moving. He's doing the freaking
Trying to stab. He's got a dagger.
He's got his dagger. He's got a dagger. But you see this ramp, and it's a big ramp. It's definitely that's a shot you should be able to hit. I say that, and watch me. I'm just gonna biff it. That's one side of an opto, so it's definitely detecting. But I just don't get this unless maybe there's a kickback, and the kickback shoots up here, and then feeds up. Something else is feeding. Maybe the ball's not going down this wire form. Maybe the ball's going up the wire form.
Up it. Yeah.
I don't know. But look at that arm move. It's moving. We got targets here.
Did you guys also notice the toys, like the sculpts and stuff, are all Todd McFarlane?
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
They are?
They're all Todd McFarlane sculpts.
Diverter at the top of the ramp. I don't. The triangles all around are the UV lights.
Did they say that?
They announced it.
Yeah, there was a post. There was a post that mentioned all the toys, like all the sculptures in the game, are all from Todd McFarlane toys.
Wow.
I take it back. That is a mini flipper. Look at that.
Right.
That is a mini flipper. It's a little guy.
Is it smaller than the X-Men mini flipper?
I bet it's
blue. The other one we saw was white, wasn't it?
This
must be the CE.
Yeah. What is this ramp? I just think it's a ramp. I think the ball goes up this thing and feeds into.
Drops down.
So that ramp is just a way to feed the upper flipper. Is that what that ramp is, essentially? And I was curious.
There's lights on that ramp too. So it's got to give you. There's got to be a switch there too to give you credit for something.
There's an opto right here.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if you could hit under this flipper, and the answer is no. You can see there's something behind it. All right, well, that was the end of that. That's the end. That's where we're seeing there. Okay, so we got the mountain in the sky. That's where I should know the flying things, the flying birds that they ride.
Banshees?
What?
Banshees?
There we go. Banshee. Let's go with that.
I don't know why I knew that.
There is a wire form that kind of like swoops in front of this guy. You're going to see that right here in the middle as it comes into focus. And it looks like, I'll tell you right now, this thing right here, this ramp is an up-down ramp. Right now it's down. But when that thing comes up, it actually comes up not from this side. It comes up from the other side. And feeds up into this wire form. You'll see that later on. Oh, by the way, over here. Look over here. This is the edge of the cabinet. So here's our stabber dude. This is just a ramp. It's clear. That's why I'm not seeing any diverter. I'm not seeing anything. We were trying to figure out what's going on here. That just looks like
that's the kickback.
Walito in chat says it comes from the kickout lane.
Kickout. Okay. All right. I was on to something. Look at this ramp on the right. That is a vertical ramp.
Ooh,
that thing is steep. Where's this flipper flipping? Right into that post.
Lock shot.
Right into that post.
A lock shot, yeah.
So it's going all the way over here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this little mini flipper.
Looks like it's going to that further. Go to the right a little more. It looks like there's a path right there. Yeah, because there's 3 arrows. If you look right under
something camp forest.
I think that's where you need to shoot it. I mean, that's probably your most important shot.
And then this is the right orbit, I think. So I think it's just an orbit shot. But I'm trying to figure out this.
That right orbit will feed the upper left flipper too. I think they both feed each other. They're both orbits. Yeah.
And remember, there's got to be somewhere on this playfield to get to these lower playfields, or there's probably won't be the actual ball that you shot that makes its way down there. Maybe there's one kind of like, doesn't Congo like just store a ball down there? Yeah. This very vertical right ramp though, this looks to be a spinner up here, and I remember seeing somewhere it says Eclipse, so I'm thinking that you hit that enough, and that's what shoots it into the night mode. This wire form here on the right, it looks like it goes all the way back there to this VUC. So some shot there is what feeds the right wire form. I think. Sorry, chat. I'm staring at frame by frames here. I don't. I hope. Are we crazy? Is this good? We doing? I don't know.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I think we're explaining or trying to figure this out. But yes, watch this. This says dive. It says dive right here in this insert. So I do
might be
think
your underneath.
that's probably what it
thing,
is. Is I think the thing comes up, which would allow you to shoot under. But then
Yep.
also, if this is up, wherever that feeds out, I think actually allows the ball to ramp up. We will see that in another shot here. Okay, look at this mini little. Oh, that's an air ball. That is like a lot of
thing's
air ball.
flying.
Look at this thing. That
The
ball,
wire form.
that ball's here, then it's here, then it hits this flipper, and now it's airborne and flying back at us. Okay, all
That
right.
can't be intentional.
I don't think any designer builds in an airball shot. But this is cool. So watch, this is normal lighting, and then they swipe into the dark.
That's so cool.
Ooh, yeah.
Upside down.
Ooh, okay, this I think you can shoot here. I think you can shoot behind that.
It's probably a couple shots.
I think you can get back in there. But this thing, yeah.
You might even be able to hit that dive shot with that flipper the way it's angled.
Yeah.
But this, look at it, it's a big circle. I'm telling you, this ramp kicks up and it feeds the ball this way. You'll see. Yeah, you can definitely shoot under there. There's words. There's words under there. Oh, look at this transition. Dive. Okay.
Dude, their UI looks so great.
Oh,
I
that's
like the way
James.
this looks.
James
Yeah.
DeWitt or whatever. So let's
He's
see
so
if
good.
this will. Can you go away, please? Right down here, 1.75 multiplier. So
Yep.
toxin multiplier. Oh, that must be with the arrows.
Oh, you're right.
The beads here, the whole movie talks about every bead is an event. Like they were like praying or singing a song for that. Now the guys over here, Skycopters, that reminds me more of the first movie. Shoot spinner to advance. Oh, so this is how you advance towards the eclipse. That's like time of day.
Yeah, yeah.
Bond combos would be
Dude, that's
based on the
so
things. Ramp targets to spell something. And then over here, hit targets, and those are the different members of the clan.
That's those 4 skinny targets.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah.
Dude, I love the idea of the spinner advancing the light show on
There
your,
we go.
on your, oh, that's so cool.
So these kind of crab creatures are something they fight in the second movie. It looks like a crab, but there's actually a human in there. So obviously this is it kind of looks like the Congo fighting a monkey. And then here are those 4 targets we're talking about. They each have their insert above it. So there are 2 flippers down here. I don't know what it says.
Something 1, something 2, something 3.
Looks like there's
Is
a
that-
target here, and then maybe you can hit around it.
Is that like the Scooby-Doo
Stage. It says
yeah.
stage.
Yeah, stage
Yeah,
1.
Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3.
Oh, maybe like Mando's child encounter. or something.
Helmet thing, yeah.
Stage. It definitely says stage. Okay. Stage 1, 2,
It
3.
looks like there's like maybe an orbit or something behind there with the
Yeah.
2 green.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Are these normal
Like
size
AC/DC?
pinballs? No, these are small. Those are like the pinballs in Munsters. That's not a normal size pinball. Look at that.
I
thing.
maybe not as small, but yeah, it definitely looks smaller.
That is a smaller pin. That's a mini flipper, and I don't think that's a normal size pinball. I don't think it is.
Small as Family Guy and Shrek.
Family Guy and
I'm-
Shrek are very
Okay.
small.
Stage.
Yeah,
It
those are
definitely
tiny.
says stage. That is definitely smaller than a normal size pinball. Look at flipper gap. It's pretty tight.
It's definitely smaller.
It's definitely smaller. It's a little BB. I do like the light. I mean,
Oh, the lighting in there.
the
is
lighting's
nice.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think the environmental side of this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so here's the Banshee, right? This is where I was saying this thing is the up-down ramp. So right now, I actually think it's up. And I think what you'll see is a ball can come from this direction and then go that way. I don't know where it goes after that. But let's just spin it. Yep. See, here's the ball coming from that direction. The ramp is up, so it's feeding up into the wire form and around the wire form and then somewhere else. But you'll see this actually go down. Yeah, I saw this earlier when I was playing this game. Yep. See, it's moving.
There, it takes a 180. It looks like. Look, you can see the top of the screen. There you go.
Yeah,
All-
oh, it does it go right here?
yeah, it comes around. Yeah.
Okay. So, but look at, you guys do see the ramp is moving.
Yeah.
This thing is
Yeah.
moving. So it's up and now it's going down. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I like up down ramps. I like that.
There's your other Todd McFarlane toy there too, the Banshee.
This is all. Ooh, this is the first movie. Well, there was a clip in the second movie where they talk about fighting, but this, I think that's the first movie. So, okay. So we know now that this mech back here, this is an up down ramp. That's up. That's up right now. You can see it.
Yep.
You can definitely see it up. So that would be how you get underneath. There's another toy over here of I think one of the sea creatures.
Yeah.
And there's another UV light. There's another UV light. So they're all over. They're all over the playfield. Looks like the plunge goes straight and then swoops across. It looks like it's
should do
all
well.
white rubbers. So that UV light, when that kicks on, they're gonna glow. I think the game's gonna look good. I think it's gonna look good.
Oh yeah.
This is a very, when you have lower play fields, it's a very open play field.
Yep.
And it's got to be, because you got to see the lower play fields, right?
I like how they're offset to the side though, and not like right in the middle.
Yeah.
I like
True.
that they've done that. Yeah.
Oh, you can see the flap is
Oh.
down now. So at some point
See
in
that
time,
that rail lighting
there it
too.
is. It's up, and now the flap is down. So that shot's going to change. Yeah, the hot rails. The hot rails will be on there.
Yeah, they bend a little bit there too. You can see.
Mhm.
Oh, right here. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
that on Godfather where it was. Oh no, this thing is like. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's swooping in. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look good for sure. Are there
Yeah.
lights here in the apron?
It's a sexy looking
I think
pin.
that's a reflection. No, that's a.
That's a reflection.
Whoa.
Yep. And I think, unfortunately, that is the end of the fun. Oh, no, I lied. Look, okay, what
Oh.
else can we see here? What else can we see? Let's go back.
Enhance.
Enhance, yes. Look at the floor. Look at the floor. No. Okay, so we got a hot rail that goes all the way up the right, one that goes all the way up the left. But like this light, is that lighting in there? Or is this all just reflection? I don't know.
A lot of glowing. It's a lot of glow.
This is the main left. That was the left ramp we were seeing to feed this upper flipper. That's a scoop. I don't know what this shot is. You can see there's multiple inserts in front of. I don't know what's going on actually right here.
You can see the kickback one. That's definitely the.
Oh
the-
yeah.
see that,
So it's
yeah.
right there.
And then there's your wire form right at the top of the.
How's it
Top
gonna?
of that
But
lane.
you've got to be able to drain. So this thing is elevated. So how does the
gotta
ball
be
get
elevated
up
somehow.
there into that? I don't know. This is really showing how offset that's over on the right. How like offset that's kind of cool. And then we have the other lower playfield here. No idea what it does.
That's going to be disorienting. I think playing that little mini playfield offset like that.
Potentially,
Like
yeah.
it's gonna feel different, which is cool. I like that, but neat.
You've got to plug in. You got to pull out your ponytail braid, Mike, and plug in. That's how they.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a target right here. There's a target here. Yeah, I got to figure this out. I don't know. This left wire form is probably the biggest question mark to me. But this thing, the feed the left flipper, goes all the way back here, somewhere over here to the right. So do we have a Godfather thing where we got a bunch of diverters back there? So even though there's only a handful of shots, they can come out 18 different ways. Don't know. But I'm excited to play it. I know the reveal's tomorrow. Hopefully, and I think they already announced that they're going to reveal. So there'll be all the pictures, and I think they've already filmed like a gameplay video. So we're going to see that. Yeah, there are lights in the apron right here.
Oh, there you go.
And then Friday is the little media mixer. So I will definitely be ready to share my thoughts after I play it. But yeah, there's a UV light there, UV light there, UV light there, UV light there. So that is going to be cool for sure. Do we have anything else? Okay, here we go. So that is a static. This would be the limited edition. That's a static topper. But over here
Look
on
at
the right,
Powder coating.
if you look, you see right there, that graphic
Mhm.
right there is changing. So this over here on the right, it's a box too. Is
Yeah.
probably some sort of holographic
Very
Similar to the
Mando.
screen.
Mando topper, yeah.
Something
Mhm.
like that.
Look at
That's
that powder
really cool.
coating though on that. The
Yeah.
print, the,
It's pretty
it's,
out there.
it's like
yeah.
the skin of the people in the avatar.
Pretty good.
They skinned them. Yep, they skinned them and
In them.
they killed one for every game just to skin it. And
Good looking game.
it is a
The
beautiful looking game.
It's a statement piece, as Zach would call it.
Play that through again, Joel. Just hit the whole thing, just to let it run through, just so we can see it. It's only 30 seconds.
You don't want to go frame by frame, like okay. In its intended form, we'll play at half. This is half speed. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty
I
good
like
at half
purples,
speed. Yeah, I like
purples and
those at half
teals. Yep. This is all the second
so
movie.
cool.
Yeah. How do you lock the ball under there? I don't know. It comes with
Don't worry.
vegetation.
One more day. They'll tell you.
I hope they do rad cows again. The rad cows on
Yeah.
Mhm.
on Elton John were fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's right there. There's a target right here. There we go. That's what I like to see. Put that post all the way down. Be nice to us. Be nice to us. And then the sling, and then the scoop on the left side. Okay, maybe that's actually there. This looks to be like a ramp. There's actually a ramp hidden right here. Oh, this is like a big fat ramp for like on Mando. It's like a big 180. So I think that goes right there to this wire form. And that's this is the wire form that goes all the way across down to the left flipper.
There's a lot going on
That
here.
ramp feeds the left flipper. This fat ramp thing feeds the left flipper. Back here is some other ramp. I think it looks like metal. There was another air ball.
Maybe that back ramp leads around to the front ramp that lifts up. Because it looks like you got to have a bit of speed to go up that flap to come forward around. Like it couldn't just come up and then roll back. You need to definitely have like a kicker or hit it from another ramp shot or something.
So I looked up at chat for the first time in about 30 minutes, and Kevin says, this breakdown has been great. I understand so much more now. I don't know if he's serious. I don't know if that's a serious comment or if it's just pure sarcasm. Because there's plenty of question mark here. There's plenty of question mark, that's for sure. But you see the little arm move? Look at it go. Stab, stab, stab. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a big old ramp, but it's a weird looking, I think that's a 180. Look how wide it is, though. I think that's a 180 ramp. I think that's a VUC. But this guy, does it swivel that way? Don't know. Any pop bumpers in the game? Oh, I don't see any. Maybe there's
Just
one
down below there.
maybe they're hidden somewhere.
Down
or there's
below.
the one down there on the under. Yeah. You guys did an amazing job with the frame by frame. Okay, Kingpin. Got it. Thanks. Thank
Pops
you.
are those giant rocks above.
The pops are up here.
You got to airball it to hit those and get some pop bumper.
But I mean, we got it. Yeah, we got to give it. If they've clearly gone all in on the UV, so like, look at how the game looks right here, and then boom. I mean, that looks real good. This definitely. I read it was one of them. It says something about Eclipse, and they showed that on the UI. So you got to rip that spinner to work on the Eclipse to get it. But I hope it's not too hard, because that's the thing. You want the casual person to do whatever they need to do to get that UV to kick in, because that's the wow factor, right? I mean, that's
like
the one. That's the one thing that Stranger Things. That's the one thing Stranger Things does well, is the UV to turn on to put the person in the unknown. It's random, but it's gonna happen. It'll happen in a normal 3-ball game for sure. Dive.
Yeah, I just love that little graphic element showing the night and day. That's just such a good use of it. It reminds me of the Combotron mode in Foo Fighters, how the audio escalates as you hit shots. Kind of gives you this cue that you're progressing. That's super well done.
Yeah, but Foo Fighters is a terrible game. That's why Mike's selling it.
Yeah.
No, Dave Grohl's just a terrible person. That's all.
Okay.
Looks good.
I think it looks great. I think it looks great.
Solid.
Yeah, that's a winner right there. I mean, granted, first impressions. It could be you could do a reveal stream, and then we could be talking about it next time. It looks great.
Adam Streeter messaged me, said he was giving me all the answers in chat. Sorry, man. Eclipse is what they call sundown for them, so I think that's what switched from the UV night and day. What else is he? Wonder if the scoop can lock them, or maybe the pop bumper lower. Oh, it is a pop bumper lower playfield. What else has Adam said here? Oh, Geesky was in chat. I'm scrolling up now. I'm looking at all the stuff I missed. Adam, it wraps around to the right. Oh, he's talking about where the shot goes. Sorry, Adam. I think you were all over this. Yeah, he definitely gave us some good stuff. It's what you it's that up down you ramp. It says dive on. Oh yeah. Okay, we caught on eventually. Caught on eventually. Yep. Okay. Okay. What else do we got? Silver Ball Swag. Let's shout that out again. Okay, let's go to let's talk about modes. Because this is near and dear to me. The more that I've gotten into pinball. Modes. Chat, think about this. Think about what modes. What's a mode? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a wizard mode. It could be a wizard mode. But what's a mode that just like that you just like to play, that you just want to play? And what I thought about is, I'm fortunate Zach's let me borrow so many games, and some of these games I realize I get into a mode and I just want the mode to end because I just want to get to the next thing. I just want to progress. I just look at mode as a barrier to get me to the thing I want to do. So like Gappa Angry was an awesome mode. I finally got to it. That was really fun. But there were other modes in Elvira that were like, oh, I'm playing this mode. I just want to get through it. Like I didn't want to like live in that mode or enjoy that moment. But I look at modes from a story or an experience type of situation. I'm assuming Mike and Hadi, you guys look at modes more as like, I like that mode because I can build and get me all the points, get that big old jackpot. So go ahead, Mike. What stands out for you with a good mode?
Scoring. Like if you're just taking scoring aside, obviously, if I'm playing a game, I'm going for the mode with the most scoring. But if we're talking about just pure fun gameplay, I like combos. Modes where if you combo, you get more points. You get better things for comboing. I also like modes that. Like if you have a spinner or something, the spinner will, spinner makes progress towards something in a mode as opposed to just giving points. Maybe there's a meter that builds up or whatnot. Creativity in modes like Scooby-Doo had some creative ways in the way they did their modes. I know the game, some people didn't like it or are not. But I thought that they were really creative with some of the modes they do. Modes where it's just like, oh, hit the yellow shots to take out TIE fighters or whatever. That just, it doesn't really do it for me. I like something that's creative and uses the playfield in a creative way as opposed to just hitting, 3 ramps and then 3 ramps and then you're done. Something that integrates into the game a little more, feels like you're actually playing through the story of whatever game you're playing.
Yeah. That journey. Yeah. And somebody in chat there had mentioned the Into the Fire on Hobbit. What stood out to me with that mode was one, the intro. You have to collect 5 different areas, and then you get to the first mini wizard mode and out of the frying into the fire. So it's like this big build up. And then JJP does it so well where they make all of a sudden the rest of the UI is gone. So it's just like boom, huge screen focused on the mode. And then crazy orchestrated music with the movie clips, and you're just trying to defend off these things, and it really just sucks you in. I think that mode is really well done from an experience standpoint, but I don't actually remember what you're shooting on the playfield though during that mode. But Hobbit does a really good job with because of the drop targets move, they can change, and then also the beasts can pop up. They can change the layout of the game depending on the mode. Hobbit's underrated. For example, Hobbit's underrated.
Rush, for example, like all the different songs, each mode is different, right? You've got Strangiato, whereas you have to
12
combo
shots, right? Yeah.
throughout the game, right? You have working man, where you're at your work day and you're hitting shots to move 15 minutes towards the end of your day, or all the modes have different things to do. It's not just hitting shots and ending. It's even if you're just hitting shots, as long as it's hidden with fun stuff that you're doing, like I'm saying, working man is nothing special. All the shots are lit. You're just hitting shots, but it's fun to try and make it through to the first break, and then lunchtime, and then your afternoon meeting, and then the end of the day, that sort of stuff. So anything that gives you like tangible progression and sort of like progresses you through a story through the mode is fun.
Speaking of progression, I love modes that tell you how many shots you have to hit. Like, give me a progress bar, show me 1 of 8, 2 of 8, like I like knowing how much I've got left.
Modes that stack with multi-ball are important as well, right? Because then
I like that. But I'm also okay if they don't. Like, I'm okay if a mode locks you out of a multi-ball, because then you have to attack the mode. You gotta do it. You gotta do it with one. Or if a mode's like, you start a mode and it's a 2-ball mode, like, I'm okay with that, because now I'm playing the game different.
This game's perfect for it right here. Iron Maiden.
Yeah, the 2-ball.
The single player modes that lock you out of multi-ball. You can't get to any of that stuff once you're in those modes and stuff too.
Yeah.
But there are also some multi-balls that you can stack with modes. And
Craig, what do you think, man? What's a mode, like, what type of modes? I know your skill level, it's similar to mine. Like, what's a
Well, one thing, one thing I love that Stern does, or is, and I think they're doing it more and more now, is to start including some of these modes as sort of mini challenge games that they've done, most recently with Godzilla in the coding there, where they've put that monster challenge mode at the beginning. What I was struck by that mode was that it's such a fun mode, and there's so many great movie clips, from the original TV and movies from the 70s, and yet so few people are actually going to make it to the end to see that stuff. And I'm so glad that they are doing that for the average player to mix it up. And if you want to just have like a quick 5 or 10 minute game, those modes are really more like a mini game, and allows you to see parts of the game that again, the average player is never going to see. So I love that they're doing that to showcase those things, and to just add, again, a little more depth for the average player, and sort of mix it up.
Challenge modes, yeah.
I think it's a ton of fun. I love in Stranger Things too, some of those modes where speaking of UV, where they do the upside down there, as well as that, the Demigorgon, where the mode where the ramp drops, and you're trying to destroy the Demigorgon that way as well. Those are great modes that they've incorporated into those games, that are very memorable, and makes you want to continue to do them again and again.
Yeah. Somebody had mentioned 2-ball modes, or 2-ball multi-ball modes are great, and I agree with that. But then Zach had a good point of, I don't like when the mode relies on 2 balls in play to continue. Having 1 ball is great pressure. I think there are certain modes where you got to keep them in, but there's others where I agree. It's like, oh, this is so much easier when there were 2, but now I'm down to 1, and don't mess this up, kind of thing. Yeah.
Quill's Quest and Guardians is a good one, because you can start that mode as a 2-ball multi-ball, and then if you don't finish it and you pick it again, it's 1 ball and that's it. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds there too.
I think too, when a mode is great when it pushes you, as a player, when they change the lighting, or they've got to do something to kind of shake it up a little bit, to kind of distract you as a player, and make it a little harder to complete shots or whatever. So I love when they, with the lighting systems they have in these games now, I love when they do stuff like that, where they go like all red, or they go UV, or they do something to sort of shock you out of your hypnosis of just hitting the ball over and over and over again, So I think these games are getting more sophisticated all the time with how well they do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach's saying, can't we all agree that multi-stage modes are the best for wizard modes, especially when you lock balls as tasks? Yes, Simpsons Pinball Party Alien Invasion, I really like that a lot, because now all of a sudden you're playing stall ball with yourself. It's like, I just need to put the ball somewhere. I need to put it in a scoop. I need to hide it. I need to hide the ball, and then it kicks out another one. You never play the game that way. Like that game, that's what I like. I like a mode that gives you a different experience. So like this would be my challenge to any code designer. Whatever it is you're doing to qualify a mode. So let's use Turtles, for example. Turtles, you got to hit both ramps, and then you got to hit the turtle van. So there are times with my skill level that hitting the 2 ramps is the challenge. So if I finally hit both ramps and then I hit the turtle van, the 2 shots I don't want to hit in that mode are the 2 ramps. Like don't give me a mode where immediately I'm having to hit the 2 ramps. I just did that struggle. Give me something new, because I just spent my last minute or 2 focusing on hitting the 2 ramps. So give me another shot to focus on. That's why, like, if I do that mode and all of a sudden I get the Bebop and Rocksteady mode, now I'm shooting orbits. Great. But there's other ones like the Shredder mode. It's the 3 ramps are lit. I was just hitting the ramps, So, but the lop side of that though is Gigan in Godzilla. You have to hit 2 ramps to start a mode and then scoop. But Gigan's all ramps. But the thing about the Gigan though, it's like you have that idea of, well, I could drop the building and then I can loop and just ramp out,
Yeah,
you don't ramp out. There's no reason to hit that ramp over and over and over again in that game for any other reason than Gigan, right? Like that's the only time that you'd want to use that strategy. So give me something different. Make me play this game and focus on something different in this unique mode than I do at other points in the game.
Like it's nice when games do modes as opposed to it's always just hitting a certain number of shots.
Yeah.
Whatever. You have modes some modes are stand-ups, some modes are spinners, some modes are ramps, some modes, where they use all the aspects of the playfield for a mode as opposed to just, it's the orbit and the ramp, and then it's the right orbit and the ramp or whatever. It's like this mode is all spinners, like Godzilla. Gigan is ramps. Names, but there's one that's spinners, one that's stand-up targets, so it uses everything in the game.
Yep, and people are talking positively about Jaws, and Geeski is in chat, but I love Search Multi-Ball, because Search Multi-Ball, all of a sudden, you know what you're hitting in Search Multi-Ball? It's not the orbits, it's not the ramps. You're hitting the stand-up targets. You're hitting the things this guy hits all the time. I'm missing the good shots. I'm hitting the stand-up targets, and now all of a sudden I have an entire mode focused on stand-up targets. Like,
made for you.
That's awesome. That's my mode. Hottie, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on, like, what modes stand out to you? What's a mode that you're excited to play?
Anything that integrates with the theme of the mechs or the features of the pin, or is creative. Generally, I look at Megalon, where he goes underground and then comes out with another shot. He's moving around the playfield. I think that's super creative. Anything that ties the rest of the pin together. You get a lot of this in the later stages, unfortunately. Phase modes are great. The Null battle on Venom is amazing because it reminds me of the Circus Voltaire phases on that wizard mode. So anything that kind of gives you an opportunity to take a breather if you've done well is great. But I do agree with the general sentiment that modes that allow you to progress other areas of the pin are fantastic. If I'm bricking shots or I'm kind of all over the place, I would like my progress to continue. One thing I do hate are modes that lock you out of things. I can't stand Rampage mode on Godzilla because even holding up the flipper, I only get 2 to 3 seconds of time lifted off. And I don't need that mode. That mode does nothing for me unless maybe I want to try to get an extra ball. So if you're a programmer out there and you make modes that lock me out of something, I don't like you. I want to progress and I want to continue having the high adrenaline that I've come off of to get to a certain point. I don't want to accidentally get into Rampage and then be stuck waiting for myself to get into what I really am going for, which is stacking and anything else.
Yeah, that Rampage mode I do not like.
Where I'm looking to maximize my point score. But again, anything that ties in together with the lights, the mechs, the whole showpiece of the pin, bring it on. It's really hard to be creative these days. Everything's been done. So trying to find a way to make something unique is very hard. So with X-Men, we're going to see a unique layout, and we'll see what that does to the modes. Again, I don't think we saw a lot of that today, but Batman 66 has some really cool features with the TV villains, and I just remember like Mr. Freeze, you have to hit one and don't hit the other. Hitting shots like in Scars mode on Jaws, and that hitting the wrong shot decreasing your score, very cool. I like that. I like the ability to punish the player for not doing what they should and not just giving them a free pass.
Well, what's a great punishment is the bog mode in Labyrinth, because if you hit the wrong shot, you're eternally stinky or whatever.
Stinky.
And the fact that there is a setting to turn it on where it will make a fart sound forever for the rest of the game. And your high score is green because you're eternally unclean. Cool. Like, it's so dumb, but so great. And yeah, I mean, it's very easy to sit here and be like, you can have the everything's lit shot, or the mode where everything's lit. You have to just hit so many of them, or you have to hit every shot. You can have the mode where it's just switch hits. You can have the mode of just ramps. Like, these apply to anything. You can have the mode of everything's lit and you're trying to find the right shot. You can have the mode where a shot's lit and then the other shots are lit and it just goes back and forth. Like, you can talk very generic modes, but But if you can somehow trick me into that being integrated into the theme or integrated into the story, like, once again, Simpsons Pinball Party, you do Homer's Day, and all of a sudden you're just hitting, it's like 4 shots in a row, but it's how does Homer do his day? Like, he actually, he goes to work, so you got to go through the pops, and then he goes to the whatever, then he goes home and he has to end up on the couch. It's like, or Bart, it's like he goes to school and then he's got to go to the tree house and then he's got to go to Quickie Mart. Like, even though I'm just hitting 4 shots in a row, but I'm tricked into it being integrated in the game, I like that a lot. So I don't know. I'm not here to be a software designer. I have so much respect for the people that do it, but to me, the wizard modes are the things I rarely get to experience. What I'm experiencing is the modes, that first 10 minutes. So the more effort that people can put into those modes, the more fun a game's going to be for me, because that's where I'm spending my time. I mean, think of how much Godzilla would suck if battling those 4 creatures was boring. Like, luckily we get to pick our 4 creatures, and all of them are fun. And you got it. Every time you hit play, you're gonna battle. You're gonna battle one of those 4, but at least they're fun, and you get to do them over and over again. So I don't know. Just thought a question I thought was worth asking, and write your local coder and tell them, or if you're hottie.
Well, I can't. Any game.
You locked me out. I hate you.
Any game that just uses everything in the game. Everything in the game. Yeah. The one thing I love Turtles. The one thing that I have a gripe on is that spinner in the game isn't really used for much. The spinner on the right orbit. There's no mode that uses it. There's no building the spinner to high values. It's just kind of there. It doesn't really do anything. That kind of stuff bothers me, is when there's things in the game and the game's code doesn't take advantage of any of those things.
That's actually really good. I never thought about that. The Bebop and Rocksteady mode is orbits. Sure, just the spinner's on an orbit, but how well you rip the spinner doesn't matter.
In the entire game, there's no mode that uses it. It's just kind of there.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was fun. But we should probably wrap it up. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day for all. We got more pinball coming tomorrow. So JJP reveal is going to be exciting. So everybody tune in for that. It's going to be like right around noon-ish, somewhere around there. Obviously, reach out to Zach if you guys want to get on that list. But yeah, let's go ahead and plug it up. We'll go backwards. We'll start with Mike.
No real plugs. We've been streamless since early August. Got a lot of stuff going on here with the start of school and everything. So we'll get back to it eventually. But other than that, we're still around on the social media, Instagram, Facebook, making posts and throwing up the odd reel and stuff there. So definitely follow us and check us out there, and look for us to stream in the future.
Yeah, and the shirt you're wearing, I forget who makes those.
Shirt I'm wearing. Yes,
Yeah.
this is Pinball Invasion. So check out pinballinvasion.com. Great stuff. He's always adding new stuff all the time. He's got some Uncanny X-Men stuff coming too,
Oh,
everything.
cool.
So yeah, definitely check out the website every once in a while. There's always new stuff up there too. So pinballinvasion.com.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hottie, go for it, man.
You can check me out, Hottie Frisco Pinball, on all the socials, YouTube/Frisco Pinball, Twitch. I should get back to lunch stream soon. I just want to say again, thank you to Papa21 for hosting a great event for the late great Lyman Sheets. Thank you, Lyman. It was amazing. Had a ton of fun. And you can also check me out on my tournament-focused podcast with Jay Land, Joseph Landis, called Wizards and Warriors. Our last episode, episode 2, is up on the TPN feed. The video version is on my YouTube, youtube.com/Frisco Pinball. Episode 3, focusing on Papa 21, will be out before the UK Open, which is at the end of September. I'll be attending. If you are going to the UK Open, I hope to see you there. And that's it. Thank you for all the kind words about our podcast. I know it's not the topic for everybody, but I could yap all day about competitive pinball, and so now I have an outlet to do it. So make sure you subscribe to the TPN feed on Spotify, where Triple Drain, the Pinball Show, and all other great shows are. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Craig Bobby.
Fantastic. Of course, Craig Bobby, I do the Top Stories news segment on the Pinball Show. Stay tuned. Some changes coming to the Pinball Show in the later half of this year and early 2025. So those in the works, you probably haven't heard me in a few weeks. There's been some changes that we're talking about, and of course Zach and Dennis do a fantastic job on that podcast, and they're up to just had their 160th episode, so fantastic, very entertaining episode. If you want to hear more details about the X-Men and of course the upcoming Avatar game, Zach and Dennis break it all down and talk about production dates and all that stuff, and looks like there's a couple more LEs like we talked about at the beginning of the show. So if you're interested, now's the chance to get in on that LE. They've gone extremely fast, and you can see why from the stuff we talked about today. It looks like a dynamite pin.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, thanks for everybody that was here. My name's Joel. I do the Triple Drain Pinball podcast, and then obviously the Flipping Out stream. Next week, hopefully we'll have something. I know Zach is hoping either X-Men LE, Avatar, or maybe ABBA. I don't know, but we'll have something new. We'll have a good time next Wednesday, which should be fun. And yeah, I'm going to the JJP event on Friday, so I will be more than willing to share what my experiences were, which will be a good time. And I really appreciate chat. I really appreciate everybody being here, contributing chat. I love seeing the conversation go. It's almost like we got our conversation, they got our conversation. This is a fun time. So if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, feel free to participate live. We do it every Wednesday from 10 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, leave a comment below. I try to respond or like or heart whatever comment I see. Thumbs up, subscribe, all the fun stuff. But plenty more coming with Flipping Out Pinball between now and the end of the year. And yeah, I really appreciate you three for being on here. And this was a lot of fun. Okay.
Thanks, Joel.
Not a problem.
Thanks,
Everybody have a great night. And yeah, enjoy the game reveal tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you all next week.